Okay, so I'm having trouble. I guess the memory got full, and this video is going to be very chopped up. But hey, if you like this subject, and there are a lot of research stuff out there. Anyhow, that a certain part of U.S. intelligence or military has stopped inserting subliminal messages inside a lot of the media. So it's like you were under the spell of something, it's now gone. It's like waking up and say, hey, everything's wrong. What was going on? So what Cliff High was saying, that there probably is going to be a very shocking reaction at a later stage, that the you know there might be a period where mothers will become part of some kind of censorship, coming in and inserting or making sure that like Disney, they don't make stuff that's hazardous to children. Anyhow, but this is very troublesome. It impacts or ruins people's lives, and the therapy is extremely complicated, or if there is any therapy to deal. I mean, United States, the laws, the courts, when I kind of review, they're very hostile to Sharia law, like saying that Sharia law is just inhuman, and often, like Americans, the way they act is like we are so much more enlightened than this, like we know better. There is the expression in Persian, it's called they are as ma behtaran, the better than us, the enlightened ones. But so the part that has to deal with the homosexuality for female is just forget it, and the part that has to do with male homosexuality is just is being accepted in society. It was like a status crime, but then it was just kind of forget about it. And then but the pedophilia, there is still laws on the books, but a lot of courts kind of either going with therapy, or with some jail time, or well, I wanna talk about some therapies that I heard from Sufi master, that deals with this transgender and this homosexuality, and also with pedophilia. One is that the Sufi master said that your spirit does not have gender. Okay, so you are still able, by prayer or meditation or turning to God, to receive salvation, even though you may have done these things, or some transsexual might, I don't know. This is a theoretical consideration. Okay, so that's the soul has a way of communion with God. But then there is a verse from Quran. It goes like this: the total people who are hope of God's grace, which means like stuff that's really very obnoxious. Then there always, I was working as a cabbie. From time to time, he was a drone operator, and he had killed a lot of Pakistanis. So a lot of misgivings, a lot of second thoughts, He was talking to me, and when I was taking the taxi, I got into a wrong track. I don't know how, and I ended up talking to him at least a half hour more than I was supposed to drive him to some place. So anyhow, I told him that if you are doing something that you are ashamed of or it makes you feel guilty, then if you stop, at least you got a part of it that you have stopped it. And then there was another gentleman. He had gone to Vietnam. He had killed a lot of Vietnamese soldiers, Viet Cong, and he was also gay. And I was talking to him through a Jewish lady. She was like a Masonic Jew, and she was trying to help him cope because he had a lot of problems. So this other one, I told him that I cannot do anything for you. I'm not a clergy, and there isn't really something that somebody else can do. You have to do what the Catholics do, is through repentance, to ask God directly. Your soul has to come to terms with it. It happens inside. It's not something that somebody else can come in and read a few things and things will work out. And there was another saying by the Sufi master, was that say for example you have a shirt, a very nice shirt, which is his way of saying your body, and you're drinking coffee and you spill a lot of coffee on the real nice shirt, okay? So half hour, 1 hour later, or after you die, well, when you lose the body, then your soul is not the same thing as your body. It's an entity unto itself. So it can go on its journey, okay? Even though the stuff that you might have done here, as long as your soul is able to make communion with God, that's the important thing, rather than the stuff that has gone on with the body, the torment that it has put itself or other people through. And well, the other thing that I might add is that if somebody is like a pedophile and they have stopped, okay, that's the blessing in itself. Whether they get punished by sharia or not, at least they are not ruining other people's lives, and there is some restraint in their own self, okay. And then there might be some kind of healing through Christianity or meditation or prayer, who knows. Like I said, the Quran says that only the infidels that have lost complete hope. So hopelessness is worse than worse than everything else. At least you have some hope and you're making effort to remedy that situation. With the with the homosexuals, the same argument runs. They are hurting each other and destroying each other's lives, but they're doing it as an adult. And then the problem is that an adult has more of a burden of their own conscience, and it's like you are doing something, but you also have every choice to not do something else. You know what I mean? Okay, so the history and correlation between extreme violence and homosexuality is very strong, and it runs, like I told you, with the my ancestor. And what the Sufi master said, that sometimes people do crimes that they are so heinous, they're so outrageous, that the karma of this crime, it runs many generations, like 5, 6, 7 generations later. They are still paying for this karma. It means like it's so severe. And the I'm going to tell you a a psychic experience I had. Okay, is kind of well, I'll tell you later. So I lost one of my eyes. I had a surgery and then it got infected. So I lost one of my eyes, and I was kind of like thinking in the back of my head, you know, could this be the karma that's coming from so long ago of Agha Muhammad Khan Qajar? He go around from city to city, pop out people's eyes. Like, could it be that because I'm 10 generations later, like this karma has kind of brushing on me? I don't know. Okay, with the people that commit very heinous crimes, and they become very addicted to it too. Okay, so I saw, like when a person dies, their ghost has an etheric body, and the etheric body kind of fades away. It's the second body, but there is yet another death afterwards. Okay, because the etheric body has the form that it cannot hold on to at later stage. I don't know how many days it takes for that, for people to, some people it takes a long time. So what I'm saying is that the people who are very attached to their deeds, they are unable to die. Their etheric body and every time this deed happens somewhere in the world, they try to materialize and participate. It's like a body. They want to attain a body, which is and they do it at to some levels. There was a psychic medium. I have a very hard time remembering. It was a lady, Papanderos or something. She was Italian, and she had a ghost lover. And sometimes when magicians go with her, they could see the hands. This ghost lover come in and kind of play with her and kiss her, or you could see hands touching her, but there were no hands, but the hands materialize and become, and I guess this is a very extreme form of spirits that are in the purgatory, but this happens. But I don't think the karma is so easy to get rid of. It will stay with these entities for a huge period of time. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. This video got really choppy. You have to watch 2-3 parts, but I agree with Sharia law. I'm a Muslim, and I agree with very harsh letter of the law treatment of pedophiles, and to some extent with homosexuals, and prison time and lashes, and whatever deviates the main society from having peace, living your life, it is evil, and it should be. I don't believe that leniency is always good, or it might be more like a toxic compassion. I want to read a couple of other verses from Quran. One is it says like this: if God listened to the whims and desires of people, even the cosmos would be corrupted. Okay, it means there is that code, and if you deviate to a large extent from this code, this moral code, things can really go wrong in places that you never thought. And I think that the karma of the Clintons, the stuff they've done, is gonna reverberate as we go along. More stuff is gonna show up. There has been some truth bombs, but the more is on the way. And the other thing is there is a concept in Sharia law or Islamic teachings. It's called barakah, which means like God gives you daily bread or like sustenance or food and money. When He looks down and says you're doing right things, you're making family, you're working, your money is going the right way. But when you commit heinous acts, the barakah, this blessing, this ease of receiving sustenance, it will stop. And this usually in the empires, when they're dying completely, you see that the homosexuals or pedophiles, like in the U.S. government, are in charge, and things are not working right. Everything they do, it just comes out in a different way. Anyhow, thank you for being in my YouTube channel. My stuff is mostly research, and please subscribe. Thank you very much.